You think that was an accident, Ocho?
Hold on. Oh.
That is no accident. She sped up.
Yeah, she sped up real quick.
For most assists in a season by a rookie. Here's Clark speeding all the way in to the cup.
This ain't no white hype. Shannon Sharpe's words are reverberating across the basketball world, igniting a firestorm of debate. But why is he so furious, so passionate about Caitlin Clark? The reason goes far beyond basketball. It strikes at the heart of something far more profound, something many would rather ignore: race and bias in sports. Are you ready to confront this uncomfortable reality? Because this isn't just another highlight reel or sports drama. It's a reckoning.
Y'all keep on talking she the great white hype, Ocho. They keep talking about she the great. Ain't no hype. Y'all said the same thing about Larry Bird. I seen him against the Aces, and I saw the All-Star game. She is elite. Mm-hmm. She is the pinnacle at passing the basketball, Ocho. Take off again. Yeah. Let that girl cook.
This isn't just about a shove on the court. No, this is about how we as a society treat athletes who don't fit the mold, athletes who challenge the norms, athletes like Caitlin Clark who are turning the game on its head. Let's not sugarcoat this. Racial bias runs deep in sports, and it's about time we talked about it. Why is Shannon Sharpe so fired up? Because what's happening right now in women's basketball is a microcosm of a much larger problem, one that affects the entire world of sports.
I see Skylar Diggins speed up to make contact with her. Stop this. Y'all mad cause that corn-fed Iowa girl busting y'all ass. Y'all said she too weak. She can't do this. She lead the WNBA in assists. She cooking.
Storm, here's Clark. Clark looking to take it around Lloyd. Clark bodies in and finishes.
From courtside drama to locker room tension, Caitlin Clark's story is shaking the very foundations of the WNBA. She's not just playing the game, she's rewriting it. And with that comes resistance, pushback, and an ugly truth about how we handle change, especially when it comes from someone who doesn't look like the traditional basketball superstar. Did you see her latest performances? Against the Phoenix Mercury, Clark dropped 29 points, dished out 10 assists, and grabbed 5 rebounds. Then, just to prove that it wasn't a fluke, she followed up with 23 points, 5 rebounds, and 9 assists against the Chicago Sky. These aren't just good games, this is domination on a historic level.
Caitlin Clark breaks the WNBA rookie assist record in a win over the Storm. She already held the record for the most assists in a single game, which is 19, which she set the final game before the All-Star. And now she's in the record book once again with her 3rd assist today. She set a new single mark set by a rookie. Clark passed Tisha Pinachero, who had 225 with the Sacramento Monarchs in 1998. Before y'all say the WNBA season was shorter, Pinachero set the record in 30 games. Clark broke the record in 28 games.
Bunny. Here comes Clark. Wielding through traffic, finds hole, lays it in.
But instead of the celebration she deserves, Clark is met with hostility. Veterans like Skylar Diggins are physically pushing her around on the court. Why? Is this just tough basketball, or is it something far darker? What's really driving this behavior? Is it just frustration at being outplayed, or is it something rooted in the deep-seated biases that have plagued sports for generations?
Hey, she like a double-edged sword, Ocho. She cutting ass left and right. Both sides cutting ass. Wah, 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 wah.
Here's where it gets real. Some people are trying to dismiss Clark's success as white hype. Can you believe that? In a league where talent should be the only thing that matters, here we are with people trying to tear her down, not because of her performance, but because of her race. It's disgusting, and it's a narrative that's all too familiar in sports. When a black player excels, they're often seen as a natural athlete, a physical marvel. But when a white player dominates, especially in a sport like basketball, suddenly it's all about hype. It's as if people can't accept that talent transcends color.
It's been a good thing for the WNBA. We have more eyes watching, more viewership. The revenue is going to start to change. The pendulum for the WNBA players is going to be lopsided in favor of them. I really think they shouldn't have any hatred towards young ladies that are doing well.
3 have been consistently short thus far today. Clark Trying to shake Wickham. Step back is good.
Let's be clear, Caitlin Clark isn't just breaking records, she's shattering them. She broke the WNBA rookie assist record in just 28 games, leaving the previous record holder, Teacher Penichiro, far behind.
Clark on the move. Little runner is good.
Clark is setting new standards, and with every game, she's forcing us to rethink what a rookie can achieve in this league. But with that success comes resentment, and it's ugly.
Make contact with her. Stop this. Y'all mad because that corn-fed Iowa girl busting y'all ass. Y'all said she too weak. She can't do this. She lead the WNBA in assists. She cooking. Let her cook. Let her cook.
Think about it, Clark steps into the league, and suddenly she's the center of attention. She's breaking records, dominating games, and everyone is watching. For veterans who've been grinding in the WNBA for years, that stings. It's human nature to feel threatened when someone new comes in and steals the spotlight. But does that justify the treatment Clark is getting on the court? Does it justify pushing her around, trying to intimidate her into backing down? Absolutely not. It's a disgrace, plain and simple.
Break. Wickham denied by Clark.
Here's the truth, this isn't just about basketball. It's about control. It's about power. And it's about the fear of losing that power when someone like Caitlin Clark comes in and changes everything. Clark's not just another player, she's a disruptor. And in a league that's still struggling to find its footing in the broader sports world, disruptors can be seen as a threat.
But Ocho, let me ask you this. When I just saw Asia go off, ain't nobody walking into bumping into her.
Ain't nobody finna bump into Asia. Asia don't play that. Come on now. You know.
But what's truly impressive about Caitlin Clark is that she's not backing down. She's not just a flash in the pan, her game is evolving at a pace that's leaving even her harshest critics in the dust. Remember when rookies used to struggle with turnovers, with adapting to the speed and physicality of the WNBA? Not Clark. She's tightened up her ball handling, made smarter passes, and plays with the poise of a veteran. She's forcing everyone to sit up and take notice, whether they like it or not.
She's great. She's elite at passing the basketball. Now, is she going to average 30 and 10? Probably not. But you see her scoring is starting to increase. She'll get better.
This isn't just about Clark, though. It's about every player who's ever been told they don't fit the.
And yet, despite all this, there's still that whisper in the background white hype. It's pathetic. It's ignorant. And it's holding the game back. Clark's success isn't about hype, it's about raw, undeniable talent. Talent that's changing the face of women's basketball, pushing the game to new heights, and attracting new fans who never gave the WNBA a second glance before she arrived. So why should you care about all of this? Because what's happening with Caitlin Clark is a reflection of something much larger. It's not just about one player or one season, it's about the future of the WNBA. Clark is bringing in new fans, raising the level of play, and forcing everyone else to step up their game. Love her or hate her, you can't ignore the impact she's having on the league, and that impact will define the WNBA for years to come.
I'm going to be shocked if she's not the all-time leader in assists when she's done with her career.
But here's the million-dollar question, can Caitlin Clark sustain this? Or is this just a rookie hot streak that'll fizzle out once the pressure gets to her? Some skeptics are sitting on the sidelines waiting for her to fail. They're waiting for that one bad game, that one moment where she falters so they can say, "See, I told you so," but Clark's response so far has been to silence those doubters with her play. She's not just living up to the hype, she's blowing past it. And let's not forget, this is still just the beginning for Clark. She's a rookie, for crying out loud. If she's doing this now, what will she be capable of in a few years? We could be witnessing the rise of a legend, someone who redefines what it means to be a star in the WNBA. But let's not lose sight of the bigger issue here. Why did Skylar Diggins push Caitlin Clark? Why aren't we seeing this kind of behavior towards other star players like a Ja Wilson? It's time to confront the uncomfortable truth. Race still plays a huge role in how we perceive and treat athletes. And in the WNBA, it's no different.
This team is box office because they want to see her. Oh, her teammate, Kelsey Mitchell.
Yes, sir.
Man, hey, she let that thing go.
Yeah.
She can let it go.
You might say it's just basketball. Players get physical all the time, sure, that's true. But this isn't just about the game. That push was about sending a message that says, you don't belong here. And why? Why would anyone think Caitlin Clark doesn't belong in the WNBA? She's breaking records, putting up numbers that make seasoned pros look like rookies. But still, there's this toxic narrative being pushed, this idea that her success is somehow illegitimate because she's white. It's absurd, and it's holding the league back.
Defense was shading to the paint, and they made the beautiful pass up top.
We've got a player who is revolutionizing the game, and instead of celebrating her, some people are trying to tear her down. Why? Because she doesn't fit their preconceived notions of what a basketball star should look like. It's the same old story, just with a new face. But here's the thing, Caitlin Clark isn't going anywhere. She's not just surviving in the WNBA, she's thriving. And whether her critics like it or not, she's here to stay.
Off the bench. The bench going berserk.
Shannon Sharpe gets it. He's standing up for Clark, not because of her race, but because of her talent. Sharpe, a black man, is speaking out in defense of a white woman. He's not letting race dictate who he supports, he's letting talent do the talking. And that's exactly how it should be. You know what Sharpe said that really struck a chord? Why all can't make me choose one just because I'm black, boom. That's the truth we all needed to hear. Talent doesn't have a color. Skill doesn't care about your background. It's about what you bring to the court, and Clark is bringing it in a way that few players ever have.
I don't know, Ocho, when did it become a thing not to give people credit when it's due? Has that always been a thing?
But let's not kid ourselves, this isn't just about basketball. It's about progress. It's about moving forward as a sport and as a society. The WNBA has a chance to lead by example, to show that it can rise above the biases that have held it back for so long. But that won't happen if we keep letting these old prejudices dictate how we view and treat players. When we start judging athletes solely on their skills and not on preconceived notions, that's when we'll see real growth in the WNBA. That's when the league will truly start to thrive.
Holly's fighting through it today. Here's Clark bodying in, head banking it home.
So what's next for Caitlin Clark? Will she let this criticism, this blatant bias affect her game, or will she use it as fuel to push even harder? One thing's for sure, all eyes are on her, and that's exactly where they should be. Because Caitlin Clark isn't just good, she's changing the game. And that's something we should all be celebrating, not tearing down. Caitlin Clark is shaking up the entire WNBA, and it's about time the league recognized that. She's not just bringing in fans, she's bringing in a new era of women's basketball. But with that comes resistance, and it's coming from the very people who should be embracing this change. We've got veterans who've been grinding for years, and suddenly this newcomer is stealing all the spotlight. It's like showing up to your own party and realizing you're no longer the main attraction. And that stings. But here's the reality, this isn't just competition, it's resentment. And that resentment is toxic. It's holding the league back from reaching its full potential.
Clark lobbing it in, Boston draws two in the corner, oh, you bet!
Here's a question for you, should we be celebrating personal milestones, even in blowout games? Some say it's unsportsmanlike to keep pushing when you're way ahead. Others argue that you should always give your best no matter the score. What do you think? Is there a point where you should ease up, or should you play hard until the final buzzer? And what about those so-called unwritten rules of sportsmanship? Do they still apply in today's game, or is it time to throw them out and embrace a new way of playing? These are the questions the WNBA is grappling with right now, and how the league answers them will shape its future. Will it embrace the new or cling to the old? Will it reward players like Caitlin Clark who are pushing the boundaries, or will it let resentment and bias hold them back? Shannon Sharpe isn't just impressed by Caitlin Clark, he's predicting big things for her future. He thinks she could become the all-time leader in assists in the WNBA. Can you imagine that? A rookie not just breaking records, but setting new standards for what's possible in the league. But with that praise comes even more pressure. Every game, every play, Clark is up against sky-high expectations. And that kind of pressure can break a player, or it can forge a legend. Which one will Clark become? Only time will tell. But here's the thing, this isn't just about Caitlin Clark. It's about every player who's ever been told they don't belong, who's ever been pushed aside because they didn't fit the mold. Clark's success isn't just a win for her, it's a win for every player who's been doubted, dismissed, or overlooked. And that's why it's so important that we celebrate what she's doing, not tear it down. Let's get real, Caitlin Clark isn't just good, she's changing the game. And that's something we should all be celebrating. Because when the WNBA starts recognizing greatness for what it is, without letting bias and resentment cloud its judgment, that's when the league will truly begin to thrive. Isn't it time we all got on board with that?